Yes. If you can hear me, kindly unmute and let me know. I can see kindly Anne, Olisa. Please confirm you can hear me.
Hi, Madam President. Yes, we can.
Thank you, Olisa. We apologize for the delay. Let me take it from how are you? Fantastic. Welcome to the Hill Toastmasters Club meeting number 100. We apologize for the technical issues. Toastmasters is an had forgotten the online audience. We are back. Sorry about that. Toastmasters is a non-profit
Well, my dear Horman, each and everyone here of us can be and what it is and maybe, maybe, I will also have a review with you. But we will find out along. Yeah, we will come to realize whatever it is and we get to learn together. So to the business of the day. In as much as we drive, how many of us have ever boarded a wrong bus? Oh, we all drive. How many of us have taken a wrong route? Maybe you were into music, then along the way you realize this is not where I was supposed to be going. Amazing. So for me, since I'm not driving, and along the way I thought I knew where I was going. But again, I realized I was headed to a very different location. You know that a time that the thoughts come to you, I might end up at Karora Forest or perhaps at Ngara Forest. So I found myself at that position. So, and maybe you wondering, what did I do? Did I stick to the bus and hope so that let it take me wherever it takes me? Or did I get off the bus, redirect my thoughts, and perhaps catch a different bus? My mentor, Nick Maro. If you were in my shoe, what did I do? If you have to think of it, what did I do? Did I alight when I realized I wasn't headed to the right direction? Or did I stick in and hope, let it take me wherever it is that it's taking? Okay. Well, I didn't really alight. Yes, what I did, and I realized later on, because then to the next stage. And then from there, maybe I could just figure out where we were going. But again, all this is to the topic today. It's not all about the buses, neither is it about the car that you're driving, but at life at times, we get to take and make decisions and choices. And along the way, you realize I wasn't really supposed to. This is not where I was supposed to be. But again, we normally have two choices. One, you either redirect yourself and find your way, or you keep sinking in that boat. So tonight, as we reflect on the many decisions that we made in life, I welcome you to just take a moment and kind of find yourself. I know we are dealing with so many things. You might be lost along the way, but try to find yourself in between the thoughts and in between the lines. Welcome to meeting 179. And also with me now, we are moving to the next segment. Normally, at Hill Toastmasters, we do have 3 segments. One being features, where am I coming up here, okay, in front, to give their speeches. Those are the prepared speeches, and they will be having evaluators who will later be giving feedback depending on how the speeches were delivered. And also, I'd like you to note that with these speeches, they have objectives. The speeches are from the pathways. Pathways are like coursework that you are undertaking, and you'll come here to give an assignment. For speeches, it might take between 5 to 7 minutes, depending on the level, and also the assignment that someone is undertaking. And for evaluations, we will have evaluators coming up here to give their feedback as well at the end, towards the end of the meeting. And normally we also do have table topics, but tonight we won't be having table topics. And that forms the 3 segments that we normally have. But before we dive into that, and whatever I've just mentioned, I do not work alone tonight. Work along. That is the timer, the actor, and the camera. This trio will be the power that is making sure that our language, the English you have in your mind, is the English that is coming out of your mouth. That is for the grammar, and also for timer. By the way, talking of the timer, how many of you have realized how the time is moving way too fast? Like for me, I just wake up, it's midnight again. I wake up, I sleep, am I the only one who is in this? I feel like 24 hours is way too minimum. Like I need some additional time. We do have a thing in working time. I'll start off with the alphabet. But because it's not I don't have ready for that. Okay. In line with the keyboard, what that one for a friend that is not a friend. Every other side is saying number for child. Yes, baby girl. This, I don't know what you really mean, but when we number, I just say, okay. So in my fellow and then I'm not over of the single word, like and that, so when you know, I'm not overuse of the single and I'm not the wrong thing. I give them thought at the end of this meeting. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmasters. Yeah. Secondly, we'll be having our and for because I just complained that they wake up, I know it's already midnight. Clearly tell me, not the last time you truly put yourself and took time to reflect on the main thing in life. Carrying it. Taking by name is ten of the last I do that. That's what and to motivate I'm still alive. You can do a lot. So today, as the timer is very short, make sure you do not have until midnight. And by 8, likely will be out of here. As your timer, will be silently judging how to for the speakers and also for them. So then a nice break of speech, a nice break of speech, 4 to 6 minutes. So at 4 minutes, I will take the waiting for the yeah, so at 4 minutes for the speech, I raise the green card. 5 minutes, I raise the yellow card, and at 6 minutes, I raise the card for this. For evaluation, 2 to 3
For the other prepared, they're supposed to take 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 5 minutes, I'll raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I'll raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I'll raise the green card. Also, the other note takers who will be speaking in between, I'll be telling you as per the program. So when I raise the green card, know that your time is almost. Thank you, and back to you.
Well, and now we have a grammar. And before you tell us your tonight, we believe that words carry power. They can either inspire and they can as well break down. They can train us and they can make us move forward. So for you, our grammarian for the day, what's one word or a phrase that helps you recharge whenever you feel like you're down? Kindly take this section.
Good evening. My name is Tessa Figa. It's my second time here, so be kind. So my role today as grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers, listening closely to language usage. I'll be paying attention to any improper language as well as outstanding words and sayings. It is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is rejuvenate. So one of the meanings for rejuvenate is to make young or youthful again, to give new vigor to restore to an original or new state, to refresh, renew, restore, revitalize. I think that's it.
Thank you. And as part of the role takers, we wrap up with the general evaluator. As we all know, we might be there to listen and judge, although we are trying not to judge you people, but that is his role. I also welcome you. Tell us about your role tonight.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and our honored guests. In the spirit of today's theme, that is pause, reflect, and recharge. My role is basically to hit the pause and reflect button on today's meeting, on all of us as role takers and also as evaluators and as members of this club. Think of me as the quality control officer of the meeting. As you might already know, my role will be very difficult today, as we have already missed a few targets. But I will not be working alone. As you have noticed, the role takers who have been introduced before me are there to help me with all the evaluations that need to be taken, that need to be done for the meeting. Thus, I encourage you to sit back or lean forward if that is what you'd like. Enjoy the meeting, and I promise at the end to keep my reflections honest. With that being said, let me hand over back to the TMOD.
Well. Now a quick one. Let's take out our phones. Just imagine your mind was like your phone battery. What percentage do you think you are at today?
At the end of the day.
At the moment, let's assume. Yeah, what percentage? 60%. Oh, that's amazing. 42. There is no one who's less than 10 like me. 8%. We are together, Yes, and the rest, what percentage do you think your mind is at? 71. That's awesome. And now let's dive into the next segment and the meat of the day, which is the prepared speeches. And as we dive into this segment, I do have the few things I'd like to pass across. Kindly, as I mentioned earlier, coming up here is see. Please, let's try to minimize our movement as much as we can. and avoid as many distractions as we can. If someone is up here, give them the utmost attention that they need. I did mention earlier that we can take out our phones. Now I command, I don't even request here, so that we keep our phones on silent mode or flight mode. But again, for flight mode, I know some of us can get emergencies. Although we are praying that tonight we do not have such emergencies. So that's one. And secondly, let's clap. Yeah. Clap and encourage them as much as you can. And to our speakers, as you can hear, today is the only day you can get to touch my little hand. Shake my hand. Yeah, so try as much as you can. Do not leave the stage before you say hi to me. And for that, again, I asked our speakers for tonight a few questions, but these I want to pass it across the room. And I also need, for this one, now you have to share it with your friend, not with me. When you need to recharge mentally, physically, psychologically, spiritually, where do you go? Or perhaps what do you do? Remember, it can be a place. It's a practice, a routine that you've adopted whenever you go. Maybe you run through your playlist and you have kind of a music. For instance, Spotify. I noted Spotify does a very good playlist. Whatever you want, you get. Whatever you order, you get it. So just turn to your neighbor and ask a response to that question. What do you turn whenever you feel like you're drained? Before we get to the other responses for our class, right? Tell your neighbor. Because I can't reach out to you and ask you what did your neighbor say. And by the way, I'm seeing the ones who are not speaking to your neighbors.
Okay, I watch your movie. Yeah, traveling. Second date update. You will be addicted to this one. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And this is the new one. Yeah. And that one also. Yeah, that was very funny. Yeah. If I remember it. That's what keeps you. That's what keeps you addicted to this. It doesn't show up. Really.
I've had a few responses. So DTM Derek, what did your neighbor say? Karura. Okay, we've all shared something with our neighbors. And now let's get to hear from our speakers what they say, as we also look forward to hear about their speeches. And by the way, before I forget about our online community, Olisa, what did your neighbor say?
My neighbor did not open her door, unfortunately.
Can you hear me?
Yes, hello, can you hear me? Hello? I think your mic might be on mute. Your speaker might be on mute, I mean.
Well, then I think we'll need to continue. As I introduce our speakers tonight, each of them shared a response that earlier. And for the ones who didn't hear the question, when you need to recharge, emotionally, mentally, psychologically, physically, spiritually, whatever, where do you go? And tonight, our first speaker is Terry Wanjiru. And for Terry, whenever she needs to recharge, she doesn't just sleep. For her, she dives straight to the wild animals. And therapy to her is documentaries. You know, when she shared her feedback, I was like, animal documentaries, the lions. But again, this is where she caught me. For her, watching survival in the wild animals reminds her that life is about adapting, fighting, and staying sharp. And now it got me asking, who knew that cheetah chase could double up as a motivation therapy? But why will you even choose a wild animal? Anyway, I'm not here to judge, but that one caught me up, and I think I'll be turning to wild animals as well. My favorite will be the lion, because I need to be a lioness. But for her, tonight she will be evaluated by Beth Wambui. And I'd like to invite Beth Wambui on stage just to let us know about Terry's speech, the speech objective, and later give us a feedback on the same. Oh, by the way, class.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Tonight, I have the honors of evaluating Toastmaster Terry Wanjiru. Toastmaster Terry Wanjiru will be attempting her first project in her Toastmasters journey. That is the icebreaker speech. The speech will last between 4 to 6 minutes. The purpose of her project is for her to introduce herself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Terry Wanjiru is on presentation mastery. Her speech title, This Time I Choose Excellence. This time I choose excellence, Terry Wanjiru. Terry Wanjiru, this time I choose excellence.
Thank you. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Life moves in seasons.
Give me a moment.
Take your time.
I'm ready to start. Life moves in seasons. Some drift by quietly, while others erupt with change. Occasionally, a season arrives that defines you. A time when your soul is in rhythm with your ambition, and life feels like it's humming your favorite tune. Raise your hand if you've ever had such a season. I call mine the excellence era. During the grand finale of my high school days, picture this. Praise-giving days at our school were not just filled with applause, but with the sweet scent of success, literally. Our school had the tradition of gifting achievers with nice smelling perfumes. And my shelf told a fragrance story. Academic excellence, check. Leadership, check. Co-curricular wins, check. But recognition was more and more rewarding by my title as school president. Leadership did not just put me on a podium. It shaped me. I learned to be rational under pressure, authentic in action, and teachable through it all. And as if to crown the season, I emerged best student overall. However, after high school, I craved freedom. I didn't want the pressure of being evaluated, watched, and judged. I wanted to be a civilian. As we say in Swahili, raia, just another face in the crowd. Big mistake. Because mediocrity doesn't just walk in. It creeps in, disguised as rest. At our university, freedom was unfiltered. Class reps were chosen based on availability instead of capability. Some lecturers ghosted us entirely. One showed up only once for a comedy class, having sent us YouTube videos the whole semester. But what did I do? I was just spectating. No responsibilities, just vibes. But vibes betrayed me. I was average. Painfully, disrespectfully average. Deep down, I knew I didn't belong there. I had dined with excellence. I missed her. But as they say, the comeback is always stronger than the setback. Rejuvenated at the dawn of 2025, I made a vow to live each day in my best season. At home, at work, and at Toastmasters. When sleep clings tightest and the night is at its quietest, I rise, lovingly and gracefully, to feed my baby. My days are anchored in purpose. I build my skills and reflect at myself with more grace. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, your days are not behind you. They are on the other side of commitment and courage. Don't just reminisce excellence. Script it. Back to you, TMOD.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. And just then I remembered of my life back in high school. Oh, Monica, what is your highlight of your high school life? What is the highlight of your high school life? Yes, high school life. Okay. Okay. If I have to turn the clock behind, I guess I could definitely choose a different high school. Maybe a day school like yours. But thank you so much. That was an amazing speech. You reminded me of my days back in high school. And maybe I wasn't alone in that. At least I was also not so much of a, okay, let me not tell you. Just know the me right now. Forget the one in high school. But it was an amazing one. And now we have our second speaker. Let's clap. Good, thank you. I told you, you should remember to clap. And by the way, before I take us to our second speaker, on your desk, you could see a paper like this. Do you have it? As we go through our speeches, having so many people coming up here, but again, this is for feedback. If you have a short memory like myself, if someone is happier giving a speech, kindly be jotting down a feedback for her or for him. We all know yes. And so maybe your feedback is what someone needs to move to the next level. So kindly as they come up here, before we even welcome a speaker, try to think of something that our first speaker has just based on her speech. What is it that you want her to work on? What is it that you worked better on? I know the evaluator will be coming on later on to give her feedback, but you can also give up feedback. So can we do that? And now to our second speaker. Our second speaker will be Leah Mwende. And Leah will be, actually, she's being evaluated by DTM. For Leah, she's being evaluated by DTM Karanja, Karanja, my apologies. I could have felt better if it was an name though. Yes, by DTM Karanja. But before,
Sorry to interrupt. I just noticed that the first speaker, you don't need to bend. Yeah, okay. I just noticed that the first speaker would speak from here, and some people here are not seeing you. So if you're invited to stage, you can freely move this to make sure that the online audience can see you. Like that. Hopefully this does not fall. Yes, make sure that the online can see you and the people around here can see you. I don't know now whether Derek you can see. I'm taller. I hope Harry is taller. If not, you feel free to adjust the stage to make sure that the people online and the people physically here can see you. And we apologize for the many interruptions. You're trying to make the meeting better. Back to you, Tia Mwende.
thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Leah Mwende? And for Leah, for her to recharge. Among us, who has babies? The little ones. You have your little one. Yeah, you have a baby. Oh, yes, then for Leah, this is a bit inspiring for me, and I felt like, I think it's high time I become a mom. But though, that's a story for another day. For Leah, recharging comes from a pure, unconditional love. Leah was blessed with a little one, but again, as we say, every baby comes with their own plate. For her, she did. And although she was born preterm, the little one who was once, he thought, will be leaving her, right now is a source of inspiration. Thinking back, she remembers the time she was called by doctors to say goodbye to her little baby. But today, the same child is full of life and laughter. And her daily reminder of resilience is her daughter. Bubbly spirit, her daughter's bubbly spirit, gives her the strength to face each and every day with so much strength and courage, renewed energy and purpose. And now, before I let Leah come to the stage and tell us of her amazing speech and how a little one has given her the strength to keep on moving, I'd like to introduce and welcome on stage DTM Karanja to give us the objective of the speech.
Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. Oh, this is what happens when you stay away from Toastmasters so long. But I'm glad I caught you all awake. And good evening, especially to you, Toastmaster Leah Mwende. Today, you will be presenting a speech from the presentation mastery part. And your speech requires you to learn how to write with a purpose. The project purpose is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech, with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The title of your speech, you will have 5 to 7 minutes to present this speech. The timer has already indicated to you how she will time. The title of your speech is, "It is up to us." Toastmaster Liam Wende, it is up to us. It is up to us, Toastmaster Liam Wende.
I happened to watch a movie over the weekend. The movie featured a young lady who was observing a young man who was scavenging the trash can, looking for something to eat, smelling, trying to find something edible. And then her focus stayed with this man as he went to what seemed like an abandoned house, got in through the window. The lady went back to her house and looked for 2 bags, filled them with food and essentials, went back to the house, knocked on the window, and left the items there, then ran to hide. She kept peeping to see whether this man is going to open the window and see what is there. The man opened the window, took the bags, and as he was taking the bags, spotted the lady. So as much as the lady wanted to remain anonymous, she was seen and they ended up being good friends. So years later, the man reveals to the lady that that day that they met, he had planned to commit suicide. That her actions, her act of kindness, gave him the courage to keep living. She actually saved his life. What do you think makes us who we are? What influences our behaviors, our thoughts, our actions? It's actually been said that who we are is influenced by a lot more than our efforts. That as much as our efforts influence what we do, our path or our identity is determined by factors that are beyond our conscious control. Factors such as environment, factors such as genetics, and our own experiences. This is actually something that has been researched for a while. It has been written in documentaries, in websites, BBC for one, Cambridge University Press for another. The National Institute of Health has also written about it, that our genes influence our behaviors. There's some connection to self-discipline based on genes, connection to how we respond to various factors, how vulnerable we are to things that happen in our lives, and also predispositions to certain behaviors. Our environment and our social connections have also been shown to influence our values and our beliefs and the choices that we make in life. Other than that, the environment that you grow up in and the environment that we currently are at has been shown to influence a lot more, from our emotional intelligence to social engagements, attachment styles, generally outlook on life. I'll tell you a short story and you help me determine whether is it genetics, is it experience, or is it environment that influenced this behavior. My mom used to sell broilers and she used to supply them to a very big hotel in Western Kenya. The manager of this hotel one day decided that no receipts are going to be done past 6 p.m. No deliveries are going to be done by 6 p.m. The storeroom is going to be locked. This rule, this change, caused one of the scheduled deliveries for my mom to be locked out because of circumstances that were beyond her control. She pleaded, she begged, looking for an alternative because she couldn't see any other way. She had 200 chicken that she had
with her at 8 p.m. in the night, where was she going to take them? But the store manager was not moved. His word was final. So most of it ended up going bad. And because she had limited capital, she could not sustain another batch of broilers. That business came to a close. What do you think influenced these actions of the manager? How many think it's genetics? No takers? Environment? Environment? How about experience? How many think it's... I think a case can be made for all three. Some genes have been linked to self-confidence. Some genes have been linked to self-confidence and narcissism, with also potential arrogance. He could also have experienced this at some point in his life, such a role. Other than that, maybe an environment where he was in, previous bosses could have come up with the same role, and thinking that it sort of shows power, he could have tried to adopt the same thing. But what could this manager have done different? He could have shown a little empathy. His one decision caused an end to a business. Maybe if he was a little bit more empathetic, more understanding, that business could still be thriving right now. So what's my message to you? We have so many factors that influence who we are, that affect who we are. But we do not have to let them define who we are. We can overcome them. We can rise above it. We can intentionally choose kindness, intentionally choose to be active, to be considerate, to extend grace to other people. One act of kindness at a time will create a ripple effect that will make the world a better place. It really is up to us. Thank you. Wow. I don't know if I can add anything to that again. But just a reminder, or rather a question, when was the last time you were kind to someone? Beth? When was the last time you were kind to someone? Candy, when was the last time you were kind to someone?
Is that candy or candy?
Nick, you're saving the world. And now let's move to our third speaker. Our third speaker is Gentrix. Gentrix is attempting a speech, and for that, our evaluator will say that
Uliza ibaki. Unajua mali iko?
BTN, Lloyd Mandela. Hey, it's just BTN. But before I welcome you to the stage, apologies for that. In response to my question, Gentrix responded that for her to return, she goes to the Kenyan coast. And again, something that stood out for me, aside from going to the Kenyan coast, is that she turns over phone. I really struggle with that. I'm coming for some notes, by the way. While many of us are really fighting to put down our phones, even for 10 minutes, myself included, for her, she goes to the Kenyan coast, and she actually turns over phone. No text, no memes,
How do you survive, by the way? Just the ocean breeze for a while, and that's how she rejuvenates. That's it for you didn't hear me use the word of the day? Thank you. And now let's welcome TM Mandela to tell us about the day.
Thank you so much. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening, Gentrix. I hope you're coming from the coast. I am pleased to be evaluating Gentrix Kerubo, and she will be delivering her second speech under the presentation Mastery Pathway. She has 5 to 7 minutes to deliver this speech, and the purpose of this speech is as follows. She is required to review basics of delivering or writing a speech. She has 5 to 7 minutes to do this. I hope her speech rejuvenates you as the audience. And with that, let's welcome Gentrix Kerubo with the speech title Turning Back of Devolution, Turning Back of Devolution. Gentrix Kerubo.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. How many of us have been at crossroads? We don't know, you don't know whether to move back to the comfortable, familiar place, or take a leap of faith to the unknown. A show of hands. We have quite a number. Back in college, a few years ago, 3 friends and I decided to take on Ngong Hills for our first hiking experience. That Sunday morning, we packed all the snacks we could carry in our bags and took a bus from school all the way to Ngong Hills. We were excited, full of energy, enthusiasm. So once we got to Ngong Town, we decided, why not start a warm-up walk from here all the way to the second hill, then we can proceed. What we didn't know or we didn't expect was how long the warm-up walk was going to take. 1 hour into the walk, we are not yet there. It took us 3 hours to get to the second hill. By the time we're getting to the second hill, we are tired, exhausted. The excitement is gone. We're even questioning our life decision, like, why would we even punish ourselves this much? To add on top of that, we are very hungry. So we decided we're having so many problems, let's sort one at a time. Sat down, ate through the snacks as we pondered on what next we were supposed to do. By the time we're done eating our snacks, it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So we are faced with an option. We have to make a decision. We are having 2 options, and it's already 3 p.m. Either option number 1 is we go back all the way to Ngong Town, which is a gruesome 3-hour trek. We've already done that and we are tired. Option number 2 is proceed to the remaining 5 hills, which we don't know what to expect ahead of us. We don't know what dangers are lay ahead. Plus, we're college students. We cannot afford to pay a tour guide to take us through the hills. That moment, it felt like we were living through Robert Frost's poem, The Road Not Taken. 2 roads diverged into the goods, and they took the path least traveled, and that made all the difference. We decided we're being poetic with our naivism, energy, and maybe optimism that only college students could afford. We decided we're doing the remaining 5 years. So carried our bags. Thankfully, they're a bit later now because we've already eaten most of the snacks and set off in a near run pace because we are racing against time and against we don't know what. 15 minutes into the walk, we see some antelopes and gazelles sleeping at a distance. We decide to stand and just enjoy the scene for a moment. Then one of the friends tells us, there's a common Kenya saying that says, if you see an antelope or a gazelle running around, don't just stand there and admire it. Run with that gazelle because chances are there's a lion nearby admiring you, waiting to make you a midday snack. Nothing scares college students like the thought of being made a midday snack by a lion. The adrenaline rush after that was so real. We ran up and down those hills. You think we were running an Olympics or a marathon. If there was a medal to be given that day, I think could have taken the gold medal home. 2.5 hours, within 2 hours into the run, we sprint to the hills, dodge imaginary lions. We descend down the final hill, which is the 7th hill. The view there was amazing. It was breathtaking. It was around 4 p.m., around 4:30 p.m., 5, the sun was setting. So the golden rays were spread across the landscape. The breeze was just so cool. The air felt so serene. Anybody who's been there can bear witness to that. It's the most serene environment. For once, all the pain we felt was worth it. We decided, let's sit in the moment and just enjoy it. We sat down there, ate the remaining of the snacks that we had. Then after that, we walked down the road all the way to the highway where we took a bus back to school. Excited, tired, but all chatty because we'd made it through to the end. That crazy day taught me 2 things. Number one, persistence pays. When you're tired and sure of what to do, always remember moving forward is way better than standing still wherever you are or moving backwards. Lesson number 2, beyond the hills that you're scared of facing always lies the most amazing, breathtaking view you could ever have. And that moment, just like in Robert Frost's poem, we felt like taking the unknown path was worthy it at the end of the day. What is my encouragement to all of us today? We face crossroads every other day. Could be in your careers, in your day-to-day decision-making process. Whenever you encounter that, I encourage you to always have it at the back of your mind. The road you're scared of, the hill you're scared of taking, that journey that you're scared of taking, could be what is holding the key to the next best opportunity out there. All you need to do is take a leap of faith and you will be there. Thank you. Thank you so much, Jen Streets, for that amazing, amazing, amazing speech. She reminds me of the book, The Mountain is You. So what are you doing next? What is holding you back from taking the next step that you're supposed to take? That's on you. I don't need an answer, but you take some time, think about it, and maybe you can get an answer that you need for yourself. Okay, and a question to our online community. Can you hear us? Christine?
Loud and clear. Can you hear us? Still haven't sorted out on their side.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Question is, can you hear
Now,
us?
if I tell you about our third speaker, our fourth speaker, clap for me. Thank you. Every time I sit down, I'm trying to breathe. It's not easy. Yeah, and now our third speaker will be Vanessa. Vanessa is being evaluated by Nick Marrow. But before he comes up and tells us about Vanessa's speech, Vanessa shared her own response to the questions we asked earlier. And for her, and I think I didn't think about this, by the way. How many of us, whenever you stress, you go to your bed? You are able to find sleep. Whenever you're stressed. Yeah. What kind of stress do I have? Anyway, for Vanessa to recharge, she turns to her bed. And she's just reminding us that there is nothing a good sleep cannot solve. Even money, Vanessa, does it solve the issue you have with money? A good rest. So if I rest today, tomorrow I wake up with money. Hey, with hey, I think I need to sleep. Will pay me to sleep. Yes. So Vanessa believes that there is nothing a good rest can't fix. When she's well rested, she can think clearly and tackle any challenges that come our way. Let's welcome Evaluator Nick Maru to tell us about it.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I feel rejuvenated to play this role of evaluating Vanessa Moniki this evening. She's pursuing a strategic relationships pathway. She's on level 1, attempting project 3. The purpose of this project is for Vanessa to practice using vocal variety or the body language to enhance her speech. She has 5 to 7 minutes. The title of the speech is 800, take away 300. Is it? Okay. So Vanessa Moniki, 800, 300, 7.2 million. 800, 300, 7.2 million. Vanessa Moniki.
$800,000, 300,000, 7.2 million. Toastmasters, these numbers may not matter to you right now, but I hope that by the end of my speech, they mean something to you. It was a bright, early Sunday morning. My family and I were rejuvenating ourselves for our December vacation at the coast. This was the final day before we'd had to go back to the hustle and bustle of the city. And I, a 14-year-old girl, would be going back to school for the next term of my secondary education. But before we go back, we had one more exhilarating expedition to go on. Swimming. But not just your ordinary swimming at the beach. Swimming with the dolphins. I had been looking forward to this activity ever since I learned how to swim from the young age of 3 when my father picked me up and tossed me into the shallow end of the pool. My mother, visibly angry at this kind of training, but it was the beginning of the beautiful transformation from shallow end to deep end, and now to the deep sea, swimming with the dolphins. Our tour guide arrived on time to pick us from our hotel to take us to where we'll be boarding our boat. When we got to the bay, the sun was up, the sky was clear, a sign of a good day. Or so we thought. We put on our bright yellow life jackets that fit awkwardly onto our bodies. We then boarded the boat, and our captain, his confidence visible, and with a big smile, he greeted us. Assalamu alaikum, the coastal greeting for good morning. He then went on to explain the itineraries for the day. Trum, 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 trum. The boat's engine started and we were gliding on the crystal clear waters of the Indian Ocean. The ocean breeze kissing our faces, the mesmerizing views appeasing our eyes, and the waters splashing gently onto the sides of the boat. After going for about 2 hours into the deep sea, we finally spotted them. splash after splash, diving in, diving out, their bodies moving gloriously through the waters, and their skin gleaming from the sun. Our tour guide showed us how to feed the dolphins so they could come closer to the boat where we'd be able to touch them, feed them, hug them, and if you were lucky, they would even give you a kiss. We then found a place where we could anchor our boat and engage in some deep sea swimming and snorkeling. As we swam and enjoyed the cool waters of the Indian Ocean, we were drifting away slowly by slowly, relishing each moment, oblivious to the changing weather and changing tides. Our distance from the boat increasing with every stroke. At first, it was of no alarm until the waters were now splashing, not gently on the sides of the boat, but vigorously on our bodies. The weather had changed gradually. The waves were coming in vigorously, and the captain and his crew began waving and yelling at us, "Rudini, Rudini," urging us to get back to the boat. I gathered all my strength to try and swim back to the boat, but the waves, they were stronger, pushing me farther and farther away. As if they had a grudge against me, they would slap my face every time I tried to raise my head to catch a breath. The salty water was getting into my eyes, getting into my nose, getting into my mouth. I was facing a battle, and even my bright yellow life jacket seemed to be of no help. I was going down. I had a final look at the sun disappearing into the gray clouds, a sign that a storm was coming, as the salty, dense water engulfed me. A strong, assuring arm grabbed me across my stomach and pulled me forward. I could not see who it was from my burning eyes, but from the voice, I knew it was my father coming to my rescue at the very last minute. His strong arms pushing through the waves, and finally, I was saved, safe on the boat. I failed to be among 300,000. 7.2 million, courtesy of my father's grab. As the sun set that evening, it dawned on me that this could have been my last trip and my last day on this earth. Drown every day globally. 300,000 drown annually, and 7.2 million are expected to drown by the year 2050. But the truth is, not all who drown do not know how to swim. Most of them are actually great swimmers, just like I am. Toastmasters and guests, how can you save yourself and your loved ones from drowning if you find yourself in the same situation that I was? Let me share with you a few simple steps. Number one, never swim alone, always swim in company. Number two, always watch your children while they're swimming, whether or not you believe they are great swimmers. Number two, and are cautious of the changes in the tides and changes in the weather. And finally, it is pertinent that we all learn how to swim and learn some safe rescue and resuscitation techniques. Drowning remains one of the highest accidental deaths that occur. But I believe that by taking these steps, we can turn the 300,000, 7.2 million can take care of you. Let's continue enjoying life and engaging in some exhilarating, adventurous experiences. Who's ready to plan their next trip to swim with the dolphins? Madam Tiemuti.
Thank you, Vanessa. You know, you took me to the Kenyan coast until you mentioned there are people drowning. Do you want me to go and drown? The only thing that came to my mind was myself crying. Honestly, for me, I could not have tried. The only thing, my fighting mechanism was to cry. That was so brave of you. And for your father, shout out to him. And now to our last speaker of the day, Monica Kabwe, who is being evaluated by MC Okari. Toastmaster Okari. Apologies for that. Yes, and for Monica, she reminds us that sometimes healing is just a walk away. Whenever she needs to recharge, she reconnects with nature. That's a question to you. Do you have a forest name? Make trees your friends, by the way. Finding peace in open spaces and taking long walks. And before I welcome Toastmaster Okari, just a reminder, I mentioned a forest. She didn't mention forest. You can take a walk through the corridors and panya roads of your place. Just take a walk and it will help you rejuvenate. Yes, Mary. You need to invite it in red.
Oh, yes. Starts with getting a boyfriend. Nice. Now, it is a very rejuvenating experience every time I have an opportunity to be at the Hill. And it gets even more rejuvenating if I have the opportunity to be an evaluator. The level 3 project 2 speech. And this is unique because she is required to spend 2 to 3 minutes trying to show us positivity. Let us feel positive, rejuvenated, revamped, re-energized through her speech. 2 to 3 minutes of awesomeness in your life. And the title is Thoughts Are Indeed Things. Thoughts are indeed things. Monica Kabwe.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Indeed, the last 2 weeks were quite interesting. Going through my moods, taking notes, and it was required that my mind focuses on positivity. That meant with my colleagues, my family, my friends, and clients. Fellow Toastmasters, did you know that your passion can drive you to being positive no matter the circumstances? What is your passion? What are your goals? What are your dreams? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm sure you all know of Eliud Kipchoge. Who knows Eliud Kipchoge? He said that, anyone take a guess? What did he say? No man is limited. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean that we can all run like Eliud Kipchoge. But what's your talent? What are your goals? Are you planning to rise up the career ladder? That is what drives us to moving a step further. James Allen wrote a book, As a Man Thinketh. He said a person is only limited by the thoughts he chooses. Negative thoughts will cross our minds. Perhaps an uncle said you'll never make it. A teacher said you'll never make it. Your friends didn't believe in you. If you entertain those thoughts, the choice is yours. You can choose to believe in your dream or in their dream. Besides our thoughts, the social media, there's the environment that redirects our minds either positively or negatively. But for you to refocus, you got to be so in love with your dream and your goals to be able to beat the odds. Fellow Toastmasters, the choice is yours. When we all joined Toastmasters, we all set goals. And the goals we set was to ensure that we become better speakers, better communicators. But as time goes by, we watch others who speak ahead of us, and we tell ourselves that we can never make it. You become the person who limits yourself to the next step. I believe that after my speech today, we'll be able to see more of ourselves come out from the comfort zones and break the ceiling and take the step to become better speakers, better communicators. And the only way is to take that bold step and think positively and see yourself in the next 1 year being a better speaker. Thank you.
Many thanks, Toastmaster Monica. She just reminded me of a saying, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. It's up to you. What do you think? Can you or you can't? That's up to you. I don't need an answer as well. And now we do have a shift again. And towards the end of it, the bottom, actually, I don't know. Yes, we have somewhere the best speaker. And I'm just requesting for you to vote. We've had 5 speakers tonight. And maybe I'll just repeat their names, although we do have all the names on this agenda. Our first speaker tonight was Teru Jiro. Secondly, we had Leah Mwende, Gentrix coming third. Then we had Vanessa, and lastly, we've had Monica. And as we continue to watch, how many of us know of this song by Bianca? Song goes by Chico. How many of us know of it? I forgot about it. Terry. Yeah. So we have 4 speakers tonight. Yes. Can you repeat the names? And also remember to keep the speakers feedback. Yes. Speaker number 1. Okay, number 2 now. Number 1. Alea Monde. Speaker number 2, we will be having Gentrix. And number 3, Vanessa, and lastly, Monica. And now, in regards to the song I really just listened to, you know, I am meant to believe that kind of COVID, Bianca wrote that song when she was undergoing maybe depression or from a point of pain. And so tonight, I'm quite aware that so many of us might be going through so many things. And with that, I am requesting all of us to kindly write a note. These stick notes will be going around. It could be a word of encouragement, and we'll be sharing them later on. I don't know what you want to tell or what the other person needs to hear, but let's share something. Some of us might be going through hell, and we are there. We are just here, smiling, and you think someone's life is all figured out. So kindly take a moment, write something good. Even though it's just saying you're great. I need to hear it by the way before I finish. Yeah, but that aside, try to write something for someone, and we'll be sharing it later on towards the end. So pick one make sure you write. And for our online community, you can take part in this as well. We have our essay, share a message. Not directly to me, but if you want to write it directly to me, you're much welcome. And if you can tag along with money as well, you can do so. But let's share something for everyone. And now we are moving to the evaluation segment. Can you pick one as you pass? Hey, sorry for that. We are moving to our evaluation segment. And as we all know, giving feedback is never easy. Okay, maybe it is for some of you, but it's not easy. For myself, actually, it's never easy, but it is much more necessary for everyone's growth. And for that, I pass across a question to our evaluators tonight. Although again, I welcome each and every one of us to reflect on this. You might not necessarily be giving a feedback here, but we all give feedback wherever we are. Could be in our homes, at your workplace, tamatatu to that friend if you're meeting, whoever you're giving feedback to. And now the question is, what's one habit or a mindset, or perhaps a routine, whether within or outside Toastmasters, that helps you pause and reflect before giving a feedback? And in that spirit, as we also walk in the spirit and our theme tonight, to pause, reflect, and recharge, we had some feedbacks coming in. And from our first evaluator, who is Beth Omboyo, he shared, before giving feedback for her, she always pauses and asks herself one powerful question: how would I like to receive this feedback? And by asking herself that question and kind of stepping in someone else's shoes, she ensures that her words are not rushed and not worse, but a bit helpful to the next person. And so as she gives feedback to the first speaker, also take time and think of it. How do you give feedback? Welcome there. Toastmaster Terry Wanjiru, that was a beautiful speech. I love the fact that when you came on stage, you started, then somehow you lost your thoughts. You were able to take a pause, recollect your thoughts very quickly and very calmly, and you are able to continue with your speech. You are able to engage the audience. At some point, you asked people to raise their hands. For an icebreaker, you were able to use facial expressions and also tone of variation. At some point, you lowered your tone when you said, we could follow through your story. You took us back and you were able to know that at some point you are a leader and the lessons you learned. Some of the things that you may want to work on. One, Toastmaster is an international organization. So it's advisable whenever you use a non-English word to always translate. So in this case, you use the word raia. Maybe you would have translated to civilian, citizen. And you can also make deliberate use of this stage. And also, given that the purpose of your speech was to introduce yourself to the club, maybe you'd have connected your story with why you decided to join Toastmasters or how you found yourself in Toastmasters. But overall, that was a beautiful speech. It had a nice opening, a body, and a powerful conclusion. So you can take up a challenge to take up your next speech quickly as possible. Thank you. You've also seen giving feedback is not easy. Secondly, we'll be having evaluator DTM Hari Karanja, who was evaluating Toastmaster Leah Monde's speech. And for DTM Hari, he gives his feedback with both a and caution. He asked himself, if it were me, what will I want to hear? What does that tell you? Is it being empathetic and reflective if it was him? And actually that kind of reflects again from Toastmaster Beth's response as well. And also for him, when he's at work, hey, lawyers, for him, he asked himself, what potential disputes will arise? Let's join hands together and welcome DTM Karanja.
Mwende, I was trying to mimic what you did when you came in front here. You started with a beautiful smile, and it rejuvenated me. It made me ready to listen to what you are going to present. There are so many things you did well today, and I wanted to start with that because I believe it is one of your most powerful tools in presenting before others. You invited me to listen to what you want to say by using your facial expressions. And that is such a powerful tool that got me hooked from the very first word. Something else that you did excellent is the use of stories to support the material that you're providing. We started by talking about a movie and giving the narrative of what happened to the movie. And you also gave a very good story about your mom's experience with the Western Kenya Hotel. Those two were just part of the things I thought you did very well. When you go through my notes, you will see a number of other things which I loved. I want to spend a bit of time talking about the general and specific purpose of your speech, which was what was being evaluated for this speech. You are very ambitious, and I love that. When it comes to general specific purpose, most people will either go for informational speech or persuasive speech. You did something called a hybrid. You went for a persuasive speech with informational elements in it. Now, that is a very advanced level speech, but I think you pulled it off brilliantly. You were able to give three factors that would influence behavior, and you did that. You made sure that I was able to remember by repeating those factors several times in your speech, and you still ended the speech with a call to action, calling me to be more conscientious about how I treat others. So you both had informational aspects in your speech and a persuasive element. This is a mark of an advanced speaker. Of course, you can also try, as you go on with future speeches, to try doing a purely informational speech, where all you're trying to do is to get the audience members to identify certain informational aspects, or a purely persuasive speech, where all you're trying to do is to get them to respond to a call to action. Nonetheless, a hybrid speech is one of the accepted types of speeches, and I think you pull it off brilliantly, and definitely a mark of a good speaker. Lastly, I want to commend you on something that I also thought you did very well, and that is your storytelling. I think storytelling is natural, especially for parents. If you have to give a bedtime story at the end of the day, it's something that comes to you easily. And you were also able to give a very powerful story, especially since it was relating to your mom's experience. While you gave that story, I noticed there was a point where it was emotional, and it seemed as if you were recalling that experience. And I want to encourage you to let that emotion come through, because letting yourself be vulnerable while giving your speech raises the emotional impact of your speech and helps the audience members connect more. So you did very well with storytelling, and I want to encourage you, keep going down that path, keep giving more stories, and let yourself demonstrate or display the emotions that you're feeling as you give that speech. All in all, I absolutely have no hesitation in asking you to progress to your next speech. I believe one of your next speech topics or requirements will be to use vocal variety. And I have no doubt that through the feedback that you will get today, you shall excel as well in that future speech. Proceed.
Thank you so much, DTM Faranja. That was very insightful. And now to our next evaluator is DTM Derek. Kindly take the stage and also give us a feedback on the question of the day. What's one habit or mindset that you embody before you give a feedback? One personal habit, mindset, or routine, whether within Toastmaster that helps you pause and reflect the goal.
Greetings once again. Greetings. The personal habits that I adopt when giving and receiving feedback is the having the growth mindset. And that is, even at this level that I am in Toastmasters, I give myself grace that I still have room for improvement. So there's no ceiling for me, whether in Toastmasters, whether in career, I'm always ready to give and receive feedback and criticism as well. Let's move over to the great Gentrix. And this is my evaluation from a speech. Her speech was titled, Turning Back Was Never an Option. And when you took us back to Ngong Hills, which by the way, it is actually my first ever hiking experience. So mind you, while you are narrating it, I was with you through the 7 hills of Ngong Hills. And you did justice to Ngong Hills. Why? I loved how you used great, picturesque language. The beautiful sunset as she was going up the hills. I could see you traversing the first hill, down the second hill, and I enjoyed that about your speech. So that pointed to the fact that you are a good storyteller and mark that as a sign of excellence as a speech taken. I love that your speech was interesting because the purpose of this speech was for the member to deliver a speech that leaves the audience feeling rejuvenated, which he did for me, and I hope for you too. And that made sure that you fulfill your purpose. What else did I love about your speech? It was structured. You had an opening. When you came to the floor, you asked a question and you engaged the audience. Some of us raised our hands to signal that we are actually keenly and looking forward to listening to your speech. You had a call to action because towards the end of the speech, you gave us lessons that you learned through your experience. One was persistence pays. Another lesson was beyond the hills, the challenges lies. And this is quite a nice figurative experience because she was actually at the hills and it also points to the hills of life. Thank you for that. With any speech, there's some few areas of improvement that I would recommend to you personally. One is the use of facial expression. Gentrix, you're telling us about being scared about a lion, but your face did not show any lion was in sight. I would challenge you, whenever you're giving these experiences that feel like out of body experiences, show us. Feel free to leave the stage and even engage an audience member to show how you really felt at that particular moment. You could also incorporate vocal variety. When you are rushing down through the 7 hills of Ngong Hills, but you are I was rushing down. So rush faster as you aim to be the best speaker. And I challenge you that with these areas of improvement, you'll take your speech from great to amazing to revolutionary across East Africa. Thank you. And before I complete, you actually delivered the speech on time, so you could not be disqualified if this was an international speech contest. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Yes. Thank you, DTM Mandela. And our next evaluator will be TM Nick Maro, who is evaluating Vanessa Moniki. For him, he thinks that feedback is a thoughtful process, never rushed. And even when it's a hard truth, he delivers it with grace and hoping that it lands gently. So help me put your hands together, right?
A Native American proverb says, tell me the facts and I will learn. Tell me the truth and I will believe. But tell me a story and it will live in my heart forever. Vanessa, you are truly a storyteller. You carried us along with your story right from the get-go. We were able to get captivated with your trip to the coast to swim with the dolphins. So for me, your introduction, when you told us about what the numbers meant, the title of the speech, because I was a bit confused with the title of the speech, but you were able to tell us from the word go what that you tell us about the numbers. And again, the use of that technique, storytelling technique, captivated us. And we were able to sit at the edge of our seats, listening to you, and you carried us along. Two things that captivated that speech is your introduction. You were able to incorporate vocal variety. You used appropriate gestures as you went along with your speech. You also used the power of three. You told us what we need to do when we're at the beach with our children. And even for those who are scared about drowning, at least you're able to tell them the things they need to do as they go to swim in the pool or in the ocean. We're also able to conclude with a call to action for us to plan for a trip. Areas that I felt that you may need to work on. As I've said, the speech title was a bit confusing, but then again, you're able to break it down as you went along and you're able to understand what those numbers were all about. I was also able to, one area that you need to challenge yourself on is vocal intonations. When you talked about the captain greeting you, Assalamu alaikum, I expected you to use the appropriate tone, maybe just to emphasize the coastal use of that language. I was also challenge you on to incorporate more gestures. When you talk about the waves slapping on you, it could be dramatic, just to put more emphasis on your speech. Overall, you made the objective of the speech. You did use appropriate gestures. You can work on your vocal variety so that we could see you talking and somebody else talking, either your dad or the captain of the ship. But overall, I'll challenge you to move to the next speech. You're a great storyteller. Back to you.
You. And now let's put our hands together for Toastmaster Nick. Thank you. Our next evaluator will be Toastmaster Okari, who believes that feedback to him is not only about speaking, it's about intention. And every time he has to give a feedback, he remembers words are powerful, and once spoken, they cannot be taken back. Let's put our hands together and welcome someone who chooses words with wisdom and purpose.
We feel the rejuvenation in this room by every clap you offer. This has been a wonderful experience this evening, and I was trying to watch Monica as she took to the stage to give an experience that was for her to actually show that she understood the element of focusing on positivity. Now, You powerfully started your speech, went ahead to actually take your place on the stage, and you are owning us as you looked into our eyes and asked us the few questions that you asked us. Those rhetorical questions kept us through your speech, however short it was. Then you went ahead and asked us about knowing Eliud Kipchoge. How many of us know Eliud Kipchoge? And you waited for those hands to come up. That way, anyone who had wandered away in the speech was able to be drawn back. And you went ahead to close this with the call to action that whatever reasons that we had to join the Toastmasters, we should always focus on them in delivering an experience and growing each day. That way, you gave us the positive way to look forward to doing our activities at Toastmasters. What would you have done better is, one, I noticed that you are asking your questions and moving on very quickly. What would you do if you're not given feedback? Who else would want feedback in your life? How about getting feedback without understanding the feedback that you're getting? You notice that time the audience is not able to process even the first question before you're on the third. So you might want to pause after every question. Number two, I noticed most of your time, your hands were here. It is good to always give positive feedback. Understand why you came to Toastmasters and deliberately work on your goals in Toastmasters. Most of the time, if somebody is watching you, they think you're holding something back by doing this. So an open arm approach is always advised. Welcome to Toastmasters. Understand why you should always be positive about what you do and ensure that every time you make the movement, it is deliberate and purposeful to improve the quality of your speech. And most important, I noticed that the moment they showed you the yellow card, you were in a rush to give us the call to action. No pressure. Finish with the punch and let not anybody notice that you are in a rush to actually conclude your speech. Most important, enjoy while you're at it, just as you did. And indeed, you gave us the positive energy that was rejuvenating through this experience. Looking forward to your next speech. You can proceed to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Okari. And finally, we do have Toastmaster Jackson Kangatha, who will be evaluating. Okay, we do have Toastmaster Lilian Kiwando, who will be evaluating Beth Wambui. Beth? But now, since you're taking Kangatha's spot, will you help us respond to the question, or should we use is on use you? For him, he believes that best feedback starts with one simple yet powerful mindset: intentionally listening to understand, not just to respond or judge. And by the way, he mentioned that he never judges. So, Beth, you are not to be judged.
I can confirm he judges.
Yeah.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I've been ambushed by my IPP, but what can I say? Just say yes. Oh, fantastic. This evening, I'm evaluating Beth Wambui, who was attempting her first evaluation in Toastmasters. Let us celebrate Beth. Thank you. Well done, Beth, for conquering your fears and receiving feedback and now learning how to give feedback. What did I really like about your evaluation? I love that you use the sandwich method that is recommended by Toastmasters. You give the positives, you give the areas of improvement, and then you wrap it up and you hand over the sandwich to Terry, which you did very well. However, I felt like there's some areas that you could have excelled at. And the first one was, it is her first time to stand in front of Toastmasters to deliver a speech. You could have applauded her in a better way because she will forever remember her first evaluation. So congratulations, Terry, for delivering your first speech. You get. So even your facial expressions, your emotions really matters with how she proceeds on with her journey. It is her icebreaker. That is one area that could have
conquered very well. The second area I felt like you could have done better was listening actively. The area you gave for improvement, you say that in Toastmasters, we recommend that whenever you use a different language, you translate. She used Raya. She had said, as a civilian, commonly known as Raya. It was in her speech. So when you're an evaluator, you need to listen actively to everything the speaker is saying, because the rest of us may wander away, but she's depending on your evaluation to grow her speech. That said, I really loved your approach that you kept looking at her when you were giving her speech. If you listen actively when giving your feedback and also applaud and celebrate the person that you're evaluating, your evaluation will go to the next level. Well done, Beth.
Okay. And now I take us back to our ballot papers. Kindly, we have a place where we vote for the best evaluator. We've had 6 evaluators tonight. And just take your time and vote for them. Maybe I just run through the names again. We have Beth Wambui, DTM Karanja Hari, DTM Derek Mandela, Toastmaster Nick Maro, Toastmaster Kevin Okari, and lastly, our very own president, Toastmaster Lillian Kimando. And as we vote, let's remember as well, we have to give feedback. Oh, and by the way, for our timer, we need to know the time. Yes.
So that took 1 minute 56 seconds, 26 milliseconds. DTM Harry took 4 minutes, 10 seconds, 18 milliseconds. DTM Jerry took 3 minutes, 7 seconds, 91 milliseconds. Nick took 2 minutes, 58 seconds, 98 milliseconds. Okari took 3 minutes, 2 seconds, 83 milliseconds. Then Lillian took 2 minutes, 11 seconds, 45 milliseconds. I am not familiar with it. Taking this D6. That is how we welcome the fact.
But I learned to understand. Were you typing as well the moment of the point? So then we are.
I like when you want to be very linear with you, but fortunately.
I know.
But it's here.
And for now, time is not really on our side, so we have to jump some few things, but we cannot jump the feedback session. And I'll take us to our analyst of the night. He has been listening and ready to judge us. So our general evaluator, kindly take the stage and tell us how we have performed. But before you do so, I'd like to know, what's one piece of feedback that you received that made you pause and grow in internals? Nothing specific.
Grow. And grow. Okay. Actually, today I got some feedback. I'm not sure if it's feedback. Someone said they saw a poster in town, and there was it reminded them of me. And this poster had someone with a big shiny forehead and a wide smile. So that's the feedback I got today. I'll go and talk to my mom and remind her. She told me I was handsome. So I don't know if that is really a description of a handsome man. But yeah, so today, as your general evaluator, it was my role to ensure that we pause, we reflect on how we delivered the program today, and also that we rejuvenate our efforts to make sure that the coming meetings are better than what we had today. To help me to be able to carry out this role, allow me to properly introduce our row takers, those who took care of some of these responsibilities. They will give us feedback on how we did, and that will also feed into the rest of the program that we're going to have. The first one is Toastmaster Joyce. Toastmaster Joyce is helping us to keep track of our time and to ensure that our meeting ends on time. Welcome, Toastmaster Joyce, for us.
Good evening once again, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
As said earlier, I was here to ensure you are within your allocated time. From the start of the meeting started at 6:01 p.m. That was on time because the program says it was supposed to start at 6:05. The TMOD was introduced 5 minutes late as per the program. The introduction of the law takers was to take 10 minutes, but it took 23 minutes. On to the speakers. Terry took 4 minutes, 53 seconds. Leah took 6 minutes, 4 seconds, 33 milliseconds. Gentries took 6 minutes, 27 seconds, 49 milliseconds. Vanessa took 7 minutes, 25 seconds, 76 milliseconds. Monica took 3 minutes, 26 seconds, 66 milliseconds. All the speakers were within time. The session took 47 minutes, but the allocated time was 45 minutes. On the evaluations, I think because of time, I've already shared them. The allocated time was 30 minutes, but the time taken was 31 minutes. For the general evaluator, he was supposed to be introduced at 7:40 p.m., but he has been introduced at 8 p.m., meaning we are 20 minutes behind time. Some tips maybe we can use for our next meeting: allocate time for transitions, and maybe the TMOD can reduce the nuggets she or he shares within transitions. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joyce. Milliseconds, very serious. Thank you very much for that. Now for the evaluator listening for those filler words that seem to creep into our speeches. Help me welcome Toastmaster Emma Uwoyu, who has been our counter.
Thank you.
Keep clapping, she hasn't.
I feel rejuvenated this evening to give back my feedback. The TMD used the filler words, so, and several times. At one point, there was prolonged pause. I want to report that Terry Wajiro, I observed prolonged pause at the beginning of your speech, but later on you picked up well. Gentrix used the filler word so, and repeatedly. Nick Maru, you used the word so quite often. Monica Kafue used the word add several times. Beth Wamboi used filler words add when giving your feedback. So far, I can say there's much improvement, and the others tried to avoid using filler words. Thank you.
Right, and bringing our language to life is our grammarian. Please welcome Toastmaster Tessa Thiga.
Good evening again. My name is Tessa, for those who are not here when I introduce myself. There are several points to note. I'm sorry, I'm not very conversant with the terms yet. So the people who used the words recharged or rejuvenated are Selfa twice, Terry once, Leah 0, Derek 2 times. Gentrix, there's some words she used that I felt you can either use one or the other, which were tired. We were so tired. We were exhausted. I felt it was more or less the same thing. Naivism, I had to Google that. There's no word like that. What she said means simple, apparently childish style in art. That is naivism. She said breathtaking instead of breathtaking. And then Terry said, at my quietest, I did not think it was maybe appropriate at the time to say quietest. So Nick used the words rejuvenated once, Vanessa once, Okari Kevin 4 times, Harry K once, and General Evaluator once. Yeah, that is my feedback. My parting shot would be what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. That is to say, I tried getting out of this role 3 times. And those 3 times, Lillian could not hear any of it. So I told her, oh, no, I have to go home. I don't know what. So many things. And she did not hear any of them. So I had to do it. So my mind achieved. Okay.
And she did a great job, isn't it?
Yes.
Let's give them another round of applause. For stepping up to the challenge. Now let's proceed with my report. And what a session it has been, isn't it? Each one of us brought something to the table, whether it was a speaking role or an evaluator or an engaged listener, you brought something. And that's why this meeting happened today. As we know, of course, feedback is not a destination, it's a journey. And excellence is not a destination, it's a journey. But feedback is the fuel that takes us there. That being said, these are my following observations of today's meeting. My observation started last week. Firstly, we had a bit of a challenge when it came to having all the rows taken up, isn't it? And our challenge, of course, is that step up. We're here to learn, to grow. You're with friends. It's a safe space. Even if we make a mistake when we are carrying out a role, we all understand. That's why we are all here. So feel free, talk to your mentor, talk to the people in Exco, and see just what roles you can take and how you can handle them. That is something that we should try and do. Then the meeting, it started, of course, without all the equipment being set up on time. The guests also, we believe they were not very well greeted. I hope that when they are leaving, we give them a very warm send-off to ensure that we make up for the lost opportunities we had earlier on. The meeting, of course, as mentioned by our timer, did not start on time, but everybody though was introduced very well. Our evaluators did a very good job when it came to introducing the speakers. The rows, of course, as mentioned, we need to do a little bit better when it comes to filling up all those rows. And of course, we will come up with some initiatives that can be able to help all of us to be able to carry on those rows. The grammarian was very well prepared and introduced her role very well. I'm sure you've observed that we do not have the word of the day posted in different places. That is essential because that keeps us all engaged and looking out for that word. Also, I do not believe we saw it in the WhatsApp group posted, so that we are all keeping it in mind as we're preparing for the speeches. Of course, that is an oversight, and that's not the standard, but we, of course, will work hard to ensure that that is improved upon. The word of the day was very good and appropriate for today's theme. The timer, of course, was very well prepared. You had the milliseconds there. Although we did let her down with not giving her the cards at the beginning so that she can show them as she is introducing her role. But of course, that is something that we will also work on. To everyone, of course, today who took on all the roles, and also for those who look at taking future roles, please remember to submit your evaluations to your evaluators beforehand. This will ensure that the feedback that you get is very good and constructive. And that way we can all learn and we grow together. This is an education program. We should not forget that. And that's why we're here. Let's also remind ourselves of the value of preparation. The day before the meeting, we have a program where we meet and we discuss. Those programs are very important because they give us the confidence, they give us the courage, they also give us ideas on how we can be able to give our speeches very well. Those preparation programs that we have will be able to change our speeches from not just being good to being great, and not our meetings just being good, but being great meetings as well. As mentioned, of course, we thank you all for your efforts. We thank you for the energy and also the enthusiasm that you brought. Today's meeting was a success because of you. And that ends my report. Back to the TN.
Thanks to our general evaluator and the power team. We clap. And my ancestors are calling me. That's so bad. And now, as we wrap up our meeting, many thanks to each and every one of us. And earlier, I told us to write a note. I shared some sticky notes. I believe each and every one of us got it. And I requested that we write a note for someone, any word of encouragement to the next neighbor that you have. But now, I do not want you to pass it directly to your neighbor because I have to collect them later on. And how do you say, we meet them? Is that the right word? No. Yes, and then we distribute them anonymously. So, as we wrap up, just a reminder, we are all going through something. You could not say it loudly, but you probably are going through something. So be kind to each and everyone that you have. For me, I stepped up because someone was kind enough to me and allowed me to get back to my knees. We have to keep on moving. But again, a reminder to each and every one of us, if you have to pause, it's not about giving up. It's never about giving up. Just take a break. Maybe through that break, you will find a strength. You will also be able to rejuvenate and come back way stronger than you even thought. I was in a deep hole, but again, I took a pause and here I am. Now let's put our hands together as we welcome our very incredible silent officer and President Toastmasters Club.
Well, I would accept that one, but for self, we have to do better, right? Yes, Kari has left. Let's do the 5 factorial for Kari. I think I've learned from him, right? To appreciate Selfa for the job well done. It is the first time being TMOD. Has she done a good job? Yeah, so let's do the 5 factorial. Oh, for the guest is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's start. Hey, we did you justice. Thank you. You just walked in. We'll give you an opportunity at the end of the meeting. My name is Lilian Kemando. I am the president of the Hill Toastmasters Club. I do not serve alone. I serve with a very amazing club, EXCO. EXCO is Executive Committee. The Vice President of Education, the person who is in charge of making sure that we have this meeting set up beautifully like this. We have role takers. She's at the back there, Tapitha Kendi. Let's celebrate her. And then we have the Vice President membership. That's the HR of our club. She's not present. I think she was online at some point, Christine Ombaka. We have Vice President Public Relations, Vivian Mike Odo, who is on maternity leave now. You can just say hi to her. And then we have our secretary, Sylvia Makanda there. Say hi. And then we have our treasurer, Cyril Wanda, who is not here. And then our SAA, Kenneth Mararo. But today we had an acting SAA. Let's celebrate him. He's the incoming SAA 2025-2026. He has started his job already. And we celebrate you. Now, oh, Oh, he bought a bigger screen. Thank you for the bigger screen. I hope it remains here. We don't want to go back here on this table. Oh, fantastic. Thank you for that confirmation. I've started with that. I should have started with that at the beginning of the meeting. I'm trying to redeem myself because of the confusion that was here. Welcome our lovely guests to the Hill Toastmasters. We'll give you a few minutes to introduce yourself at the end of this meeting. I want to also applaud the new role takers like Tessa, who tried to run away. But as long as you're within my hands, you cannot run away. You can run, but you cannot hide. And congratulations for taking on your first role. These are first role in Toastmasters. Let's celebrate them. Beg, who is the first time evaluator. Well done. And the part-time speaker. Do we have any other role taker apart from Terry? Terry, Tessa. By then, you better know that. Tessa, Terry. Terry, Tessa. The members here. You won't confuse them. I was confusing them the very first time. I was like, who is Tessa? Who is Terry? And Tessa is Tess. And now I want to celebrate the icebreaker of this evening. That is Terry. Siriono, we can clap for her as she comes in. Let's celebrate her better. We are ready for that high school girl. And she's back, right? Yeah. Yes. And now on to... I know you're tired, dear. Sorry. I wish we could give you some water. I could hear you. We really apologize for the technical hitches we had throughout the meeting. It's hybrid. These things are expected when we are trying to improve as time goes by. And then this is just a reminder from our VPM, VPE, that whenever you're taking up any role, be it speaking or any other supporting role, ensure that you're working with your mentor. That's the only way we can keep on growing. And if you've taken up a role, you can mentor the next person. Like Selfa, you can share the gems, the hiccups that you experience with the next TMOD. Having said that, our next meeting, yes.
Just a lecture.
Yes.
Attending
Dry runs. Nice. Yeah, I see you snobbing those messages. And only the exco joins the dry runs. We see you and we are judging you. This one we are not. We are judging you. If you take up a role and you don't show up for the dry run, even TM Harry, you can come and share your tips with us. Yo. Anyway, by the way, I meant to welcome you officially. Welcome back to Toastmasters. This man was in Addis. He just when did you land? You came on Sunday. How was Addis Ababa?
Experience, which I encourage everybody to have at least once in their lives. Please do assessment. There was international studies, demonstrating this.
Fantastic. The Team Harry Karanja was among the founding members, actually the one who started with a few, I can't remember with who, started the Hill Toastmasters Club. We are here because he is. He took a break. When I joined Toastmasters, he was was it still district director? I was in Kilele Toastmasters back then, and we had our first Ticon. It was not called Ticon then. We used to call it Botea at Pride Inn. Those days were amazing. It was proper. Guys, I'm old, but I'm not older than Harry. Yeah, welcome back to Toastmasters. We can't wait to learn from you. I know you're trying to come back and relearn, but you also want to learn from you, from the evaluation and your speeches. So we are looking forward to your first speech. I know we are way past time, and I want to appreciate the better speaker of this evening and the better evaluator. Better evaluator, Okari, we are disqualifying you from now henceforth. But you guys, I'm serious. From now henceforth, we are not going to vote for Okari. All the ribbons are good. Or you can bring the ribbons. You bring back the ribbons? No. No, come for it. Come for it. But going forward, you'll be coming with your ribbon. You come with a ribbon. I think you love his charisma. The MC, some of us can do that. Guys, give us the ribbon. It's okay. It's all right. We see you, Okari. And the better speaker this evening is not other than Vanessa, who is Okari's mentee. Woo! That was such a beautiful speech. Well done. I've seen the growth from the day you delivered your icebreaker, and the sky is the limit for you. Is it? Is the sky the limit? Do we still say that thing? No, right? Or the deep sea? Oh, the deep sea is your limit in this case. Okay. All right. Can I see your tags, members? Members. Can I see your tags? Starting with IPP. Where's your tag? All right. Oh, I was waiting for that 200 bob. Your tag, members. Where's yours?
You have it.
Huh? I haven't. What did I say? If you don't remind me before the next meeting, 200 bob today. That's what we agreed in the last meeting, right? Yes, because you guys are using it as an excuse. Where's yours, Gentrix? You didn't remind us. So 200 bob. Monica, can I see? Who else? Harry, we have yours somewhere. So the next time when you forget it, you give us 200 bob. Beth? Oh, Beth, that time. Oh my God. Send that 200 bob and show us the evidence. Are you taking note of Beth? Where's yours? Secretary. Oh, thank you. TMOD, I'm looking. Joroge, where's yours? You forgot. By the way, I am not. This is the last time. If you don't remind us that you don't have your tag, 200 bob next meeting. We are forgiving you today, only today. All right. Our guest, we normally charge a small fee, 300 bob, just to appreciate this nice environment you've enjoyed and the preparation. So just 300 bob to this. So I'm going to pass it around. You pay, and our secretary is going to take note of that. Having said that, as I finish our next meeting, guys, we have 2 meetings to go. Only 2 meetings. Oh, we are ending the Toastmasters year ends in June 30th. So I have 2 more meetings to come and make noise, come and disturb you. 2 more meetings remaining. And therefore, in the next 2 meetings, we have a little bit of club businesses that we need to conduct. In our next meeting, we'll have our MOT, which is the moments of truth. This is where now we evaluate the club. We evaluate ourselves, we receive the feedback, we give feedback, we love the environment, but now we will come together as members and look at the areas where we are doing very well and the areas that we need to improve on as a club, okay? So we need all of you here to come and say, Lillian, you come here and never keep time. You're given 6 minutes, you talk for 10 minutes. That's good feedback. So that the next president will observe that, something like that. So that's what we'll be doing the next meeting. And then we'll have the new members induction. We have several new members, I think about 10. So we'll be having the new members induction, and we will see how that time looks like. I think we can have 2 speakers. Tabitha, is it possible? One speaker. Who is that? Who's going to be the only speaker? Oh, you already have? Yeah. Okay. Wow, who is that lucky person? Is it someone who can give us the last goal? Okay. Okay, fantastic. If it's we are looking for one goal to be 10 over 10. Yeah, so we are giving that person priority. Sorry, guys. Now, this is the opportunity for you to venture out. I keep sharing those opportunities. There's a speaking slot, grab them, because those 2 meetings, we have club businesses and we might not be able to have as many speakers as we want. Okay. The last thing, have I forgotten anything else? Exco, any announcements? Yes, Jackson. And? Oh, membership renewals. If you have not renewed, guys, please remember to renew. Time crunch. Okay. That's it. There being no other business, I'm calling meeting number 179 adjourned. Is it 79? 79, yes. 79. Okay. Well done. Yeah, apologies for keeping you this late, but just allow me 5 minutes to appreciate our guests. First-time visitors, please, by show of hands. Please stand. I'm not going to embarrass you. You can join me here. I have a present for you. I have a gift for you. If you're here for the first time, please come. Let's celebrate. Can you be here before? Oh, maybe you can reintroduce yourself. Well done. Welcome to the meeting. Please come somewhere we can see you. Tell us your name, who invited you, and how was the meeting.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Monica. I accompanied Joy and we were invited by Leah.
Good evening, Toastmasters. I must say my experience with Toastmasters this evening has been rejuvenating. My name is Grevin Ochie. I was invited by Terry.
Good evening to Toastmasters. Okay, my name is Joy. As she has mentioned, I was invited by Leah. My experience has been great and hoping to be back soon.
And I hope this convinces you to come back and be a member, not just to visit us. Welcome to the Hill. Yeah, the best. Please come back and be a member. Okay. Karibu sana. Thank you. Guys, now we can continue with networking. Before you leave, ensure that you meet someone new, not the person you came. You know, guys, I keep telling people I have the advantage of knowing all of you because I interact with all of you. But some of you just come in here as you are and you leave as you are without knowing people. So before you exit that door, ensure to know at least 2 people, not just faces, their names, because networking is very important. And if you want to go and disturb the DTMs and ask them how it has been, they're here. Are you in a hurry, DTMs? Can you spare us 5 minutes to disturb you? Fantastic. Who is running to DTMs? Let's sit together. Arnold, you need the motivation. Come closer. All right, guys. Feel free. Feel free. Bye, Candy and Anna. We will have an open something one day. Come, Okari. Come, changamsha people too. Ask. Yes. Oh my God. Yes, guys, excuse me. Excuse me.
There's an announcement of juice.
Yes, Okari spoke of juice and we completely forgot. We have our club social coming in June, where we celebrate the end of the year of the Hill, of the Toastmasters, okay, the Hill, whatever I'm saying. We have a social coming up on the 27th of June. We will share more details. Please block that date. You don't, I had another engagement. I had made plans. The plans are made now.
Wedding.
There's no wedding for Friday, guys. Okari and I are ready for you and you're ready to have fun, all right?
Yes.
27th of June. We will share more details. Now, ask your question.
Yes, I was asking whether you said there are two club activities left. The ones
2 meetings.
2 meetings,
Yes.
those 2 meetings.
Yes.
Will any of those meetings have snacks and cake?
You can.
You usually drink.
Oh, the new members induction, definitely there'll be cake.
There will be cake.
Yes.
Thank you.
And juice.
Members, I want us to appreciate the expo in advance as they prepare cake. And this is how we're gonna do it this time. Let's warm our hands nicely. Are our hands warm enough?